It's Wolf, and I am back once again with inFamous 2. So as you may have noticed, the previous tutorials that I made about inFamous 2 UGC, I ended up deleting, including the stuff that's here on YouTube. Well, I delisted the stuff on YouTube and deleted the written stuff on Game Banana. And the reason for that is because I was completely wrong about how inFamous 2's UGC saves. So, in the previous stuff that I made, I thought that the inFamous 2 UGC saved to your save file. Turns out it does not do that. So I ended up figuring this out because I saw other people talking about inFamous 2 UGC online, and long story short, I connected the dots and kind of realized that maybe I was wrong and that it was actually saved somewhere else. So I did a little bit of looking, and I actually have figured out properly how to share UGC missions without using the internet, but it's going to be a thing that I'm going to have to split into a couple more videos probably. But long story short, let me just show you guys what I did. Well, actually, so firstly, within inFamous 2, the way I tested this was I was like, okay, so the save files obviously have something to do with it, kind of, but not exactly. But I was like, it seems like the game saves it to your game data utility or to the additional content thing that also goes in the game data utility. So what I did was I deleted my game data utility, but kept my save file. So I deleted the game, reinstalled the game, kept the same save file, and now when I go into user-generated content and my missions are gone. So obviously they are not saved in the save file because I've kept that whole time. They must be saved in the game data utility or additional content thing in the game data utility. So let me quit out of the game to show you guys a little bit more what I'm talking about. So that is up in this menu up here, Game Data Utility. As you can see, it's my most recently installed thing. And inFamous 2 installs two things. There's inFamous 2 and there's inFamous 2 additional content, which I believe is like the updates and stuff. So I'm pretty sure that the UGC missions are stored just in inFamous 2. Now, of course, this brings up a question. Wolf, why did it work in your previous video then when you swapped the save data around? And I think the reason for that is because your game data utility actually stays the same between users on the same PlayStation. So when I swapped over to my inFamous 2 user and had a different save file, and I did all the re-signing the save file stuff and everything, the game data utility for inFamous 2 is the same. So the UGC missions were there. When you played it normally, before getting a save file and re-signing it and everything, it just didn't show those UGC missions on this other user because they weren't assigned to that user. But when I re-signed that save file to my other user, it showed those UGC missions again because they were in the game data utility. But if they're not in the game data utility to begin with, then they're not going to be there. So long story short, my point is that you actually need to share part of your game data utility rather than your save file in order to share missions. The issue with this is that you can't actually do that normally. So you can do that on modded consoles, and I figured out how to do it on RPCS3 while messing around with this a little bit earlier. So there is a way to do this still, I just had the wrong way. So I'm going to have another video coming out that's kind of a remake about preserving missions, because you can still remix missions to save them to your own console even without a modded console. But if you want to share missions, you're going to need either a modded console or you're going to have to use an emulator like RPCS3, something where you can get more into the files of the game than you normally can on a non-modified PS3. But yeah, sorry that I was totally incorrect about this whole thing, but thank you to the multiple people who left comments on my videos, left messages on Game Banana, people who uploaded other stuff on Game Banana. Nobody actually told me I was wrong, but I kind of figured it out over time because I realized that what I was doing didn't really make sense with what other people had done. So anyway, that's where we're at now. It is still possible, but it's just a completely different process than I thought. So thank you guys for watching. I am going to try to make newer videos to explain it, how it actually works. As I mentioned in the video that I unlisted, the most recent one though about inFamous 2, I've been dealing with a bunch of real life stuff. I've been having like some stomach issues and stuff that I've been getting investigated, and so that's just been taking up a bunch of time. But I will try to get this stuff uploaded and made and everything at some reasonable point in the future. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in other stuff in the future, and bye-bye.